That's such an interesting, transition of your career because, Tech Cow and Prince Spot, where you're still, writing your script in a more spontaneous way, as we were talking about.
Yeah.
But once Chris Bergot, joining your team, becoming your co-screenwriter, seems like your films are more, become even more well structured. How did he come along, and how is it like to collaborate with him?
Well, we went to school together and we were friends. He was 1 year below me. I knew his love for mainstream movies. I mean, he loves everything very mainstream, studio, Lucas, Spielberg, Disney, very much in line with that. But at the same time, I knew our interests lie in the same places. So I think with Starlet, when we set out and made Starlet together, it was the interest of actually shining light on. It was actually like we worked together on a television show, and I knew he was a good writer, meaning I knew he understood structure and everything. And when I said, hey, let's make a film that's like a cinema verite movie. Remember the French film called A Single Girl? I thought the film was going to be more like this, and I thought it was going to be a film that just looked at a day in the life of this girl and not in any way showing the adult film industry. You find out she's, of course, in the adult film industry, but it was going to be just her trying. It was almost like Wendy and Lucy in a way, where she was looking for her dog, where it takes place almost in real time over the course of a day, and it was she loses her little chihuahua and she has to go find it. And I thought that was going to be the film, and then Chris said, well, okay, but why don't we take one of your earlier ideas? I had this idea called bric-a-brac. Bric-a-brac is like what you find at a garage sale, like the little trinkets and stuff. And I had written this little synopsis about a woman who, a friendship between an 80-year-old and a 20-year-old because of this woman finding $20,000 at a garage sale in a thermos. And he goes, why don't you take that and apply it to this idea of this girl in the adult film industry, and then you have a structure there for us to follow. And so, yes, you can say he's very much, that way. He's minded, like structure minded, and he so he was the one, and I was like, sure, that sounds good. That was an idea I loved, so let's combine them. And then with Tangerine, when we heard this story that really fascinated us, that was the impetus for the screenplay. Trying to find a cisgender woman who was involved with your boyfriend and you're trans. That was something in which we said, okay, it's just going to be like almost like an odyssey. It was just going to bring us through and eventually bring us back to where we started at donut time, beginning and ending at donut time to a certain degree. Of course, we go down the street to the laundromat, but you know what I mean. And so he was, again, very much involved with trying to figure the structure out with me. So I guess you could say, yeah, he does have that. I don't I'm trying to battle against that all the time. I'm trying to battle against the obvious 3-act structure. That's why I think Florida has the blurry lines with the 3-act structure.
It's more episodic.
Yeah, and I only say that because of the fact that when I'm over in like Europe, when I'm showing my films in Europe or in Asia, wherever, outside the U.S., people, one of the biggest criticisms is that people think I'm sometimes too structured. Like I'm too mainstream thinking, and so I'm always battling against that. And it's weird because it's so that I think Chris helps me out because he's 180 degrees on the other way of thinking, and we meet in the middle somewhere. That's my hope. So, Yeah.
So how
and in the next film, if I make a film, we were actually thinking about making a romantic comedy.
Oh, okay.
Now, if we made a romantic comedy, it obviously will be a romantic comedy, but with characters hopefully you've never seen before in a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
But I want to follow the tropes of a romantic comedy. So going to Chris for that is the perfect thing, because he knows down to the minute where things have to happen. If you're trying to make a in a way a satire of a romantic comedy, he will know that structure perfectly. I won't have, so, yeah.